Hey guys, we're here at Bungie Studios in Kirkland, and I've got Lars Bakken here to tell us a little bit about Halo 3 ODST Firefight mode. Now, Lars, the Firefight mode is sort of a take on the survival or horde mode that's been sort of going around lately, but you guys have put a really unique Halo twist on it. What can you tell us about that?
Sure. I mean, I think, the idea of the survival game has obviously been around for a while. This is really just, Firefight is really just our take on it. And I think the thing that makes it different is obviously the fact that you've got your entire Halo sandbox. So you've got all the weapons, all the vehicles, all the Covenant, the wicked Halo AI. You mix all that together. You throw on skulls. You add in limited lives and health and weapons, and it all kind of mixes up into this super intense experience of you and your buddies fighting against non-stop waves of enemies.
Can you tell us about the basic structure, the way the waves and the sets and the rounds work?
Sure. So there are 5 waves per round and then 3 rounds per set. And as you're going through, each round actually turns on a new skull, and each set then also turns on a separate skull. So when you first start the game, you're just in, wave 1 of round 1 of the first set. And that means Tough Luck is on. As you progress to the second round, we turn on Tough Luck and Catch. Third round is Tough Luck, Catch, and Black Eye. And the game changes up pretty dramatically depending on what skulls are on.
So let's talk about the maps you guys are showing today: Security Zone, Alpha Site, and Crater Knight. Can you describe these 3 maps in general and sort of the differences that set them apart from each other?
Sure. So Security Zone and Alpha Site actually take place in the same campaign map. Firefight levels consist of places in the campaign that you've been to already. And so Security Zone is the exterior of the Oni building, which you'll play through once you play the campaign. And then Alpha Site is inside the Oni building. So they play very differently. One is really wide open exterior. You've got Phantoms dropping off guys. You've got Wraiths down at the bottom of the hill shelling your position. And then Alpha Site is much more interior, small focus, like hand-to-hand, almost close-quarter stuff. So they play very differently. And then Crater Knight is, as the name implies, takes place at night, and you've got actually guys getting dropped off in Phantoms and coming through kind of doors that are in the environment. So they're coming to attack you in multiple ways.
So Crater Knight adds a different layer of strategy with the visor mode, where you can sort of like outline enemies in the distance. How does that work exactly?
So right, we really wanted to have a different experience for the different maps, and Crater Knight is one of those where we were able to really utilize the visor mode. And like you said, it actually is a low light amplification, but it also calls out the enemies. So the enemies will be ringed in red, your friendlies will be ringed in green. And so it makes it a little bit easier to see, obviously, because it's like a night vision perspective. But it really plays a little differently too, because if you don't have the visor mode on, you can definitely play it that way, but it's dark and it's a lot more difficult. But with visor on, it really gives you an advantage.
Now, as far as like stat tracking goes or leveling goes, that was a big part of Halo 3 multiplayer. Are we going to see that in Firefight as well?
Yeah, absolutely. The guys that work on Bungie.net have completely outdone themselves with the Firefight stat tracking. It's insane. You can look at every single medal, obviously, that you've ever collected, but you can look at every single kill you had, each weapon you did it with, like how often you used that weapon, what set you made it to, how many times you killed a grunt in like wave 5 of set 2. It's ridiculous. And the post-game carnage report has been updated too, so in-game you have access to all the information, but on Bungie.net it's going to be, you're going to be able to look at it, and there'll be leaderboards through your friends list as well, so you can really kind of, look at each other's scores. It'll be pretty sweet.
Well, Lars, I'm usually pretty terrible at these survival modes, but I had a great time with Firefight, so that leads me naturally to my final question. When are we going to see ODST available in stores?
September 22nd.
All right, Lars, thanks a lot. September 22nd, right around the corner. Stay tuned for more.